Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Grandpa's Café in Dania.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on another beautiful January day in South Florida. And look who popped into our screen. I declared him a vet scratch today from the show after listening to him soldier through very admirably his morning Defo show. But Jeff Defo DeForest, how are you feeling today and can you speak?
Feeling better than I was the last couple of days, that's for sure. Sometimes you got to push through the thing. It did cause a little bit of stress on the vocal cords here, but feeling pretty good. A lot better, like I said. When you're seeing bugs, when you're locked into that thing and you got like whatever flu or influenza or whatever disease this was, it's pretty tough. I mean, all I was doing was sort of moaning and groaning for a couple of days, and woke up this morning, didn't feel great, but
as opposed to what? Because usually you're moaning and groaning. It's about usually the losing tickets in your
yeah. I mean, wouldn't have been a very successful weekend. I ended up making some money on the games only because of my personal bookmaking venture with my buddy Francesco, who managed to go a robust 2-4. But we missed the opportunity of a lifetime to go anti-Mayo.
Is this the easiest angle?
Really.
I mean,
oh my God.
I know what I'm doing when it comes to horses and a little bit of poker, because I'm controlling it myself, and I have a lot more faith in myself sometimes when it comes to cards and horses. But when it comes to football, man,
I managed to go 0-6. Wow. That's
well, so, and for those of you, I know we're talking a little sports, and later on, we're going to be joined by the fabulous Dave Hyde, my former colleague at the Sun-Sentinel, longtime sports columnist at the Sun-Sentinel, the dean of South Florida sports writers now, although I guess Greg Cody would contest that, but they've been going at it, both of them, almost 4 decades. But we'll talk to Dave a little bit later about both sticking a fork in the Dolphins and their season, and also some.
You sound a little too happy about that, Mr. Smug. I mean, you really do.
What about going 0-6? About
your I mean, obvious tendency to root against the local teams. Just tends to surface here and there.
No. I
know you like it. It's a subliminal thing, but it surfaces.
I was on board with the Dolphins. Now the thing was. Well, a couple of things. First of all, you were trying to hit your big parlay, which I understand.
We had no shot.
6-0, 48-1. You didn't even have the what? We got to keep it clean for LESF, but you don't have the guts to put down the bet, the fortitude,
the belief, the faith.
And me, I gave you. You bumped me from the show last Friday, but I still put in writing in the comments thread. I said this is what I would do if it was my parlay ticket. I proceeded to give.
We did bump you for like a decent reason if you had to get bumped.
I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
I want to bow out of the show here soon. I don't mind making way for Dave Hyde, but John Bacon is a rare get for us.
No, that's okay. I'm not bitter because I have enough airtime now during the week where I don't.
Got your own show. What do you want?
Yeah, I know. That's it. But I do like putting on my gambling gourmet hat because I could work blue on that show. I could curse up a storm and do some other strange things. But that's on Friday mornings, the Degenerate Friday show on the Defo show, which is right here on the South Florida Live channels that you're tuned to now, both on Facebook and YouTube. But I gave out all 6. Ended up being losers. So if you did the reverse Mayo, the reverse Mayo went 0-6. The reverse Mayo went 6-0, you would hit your 48-1 parlay.
Imagine that. We could have put like $100 on that and come back with $5,000.
Right. And the thing is, like, instead of the gambling gourmet, you could call me the Lipitor loser because like all I need is to pop my cholesterol pills and I'd just be losing all day long. But that was rough. And it takes some skill, I think, to picking against the spread.
Look, you have a 50-50 chance in any game with the point spread. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, unless it's a push, obviously. But, so you could throw a coin in the air and pick those games. I mean, they've had monkeys pick games and all kinds of different stuff.
So just go against me, and you'll be a winner. And
That's a
the
good one though.
and the
0-6
reverse
is really
Mayo,
good.
I think, basically, Sarni was asking if that's a gymnastics move. I think it might be a porn movie move now from reverse Mayo,
First
but
Mayo.
But see, the problem is now that you did that, it probably will never happen again.
never again.
If
I
there was
couldn't
a
try.
six-game package that you could lose all six,
Yeah,
I
look
mean,
for one.
just by blind
And
luck, you got to hit one.
oh yeah, that was pathetic. Not as pathetic. And okay, so I know people hate the football talk, and we're going to be talking a little bit of football with Dave
Really,
Hyde
are you
later.
getting the same
But
hate mail that Lubie is about that? I mean,
it's all
the
right. I
show?
mean, people tune in here, but it's right in the intro. This is the place you come for food and sports and the proper maintenance of your vehicle. But that's the play on the Lubie words. But I did get an oil change this morning, and they were trying to hit me up for the ultra synthetic. Do you ever go that route? My car is older, but I ended up
Yeah.
getting the blended synthetic. So
I always do full
Uh,
synthetic.
yeah, you may as
You
well go all
do?
the way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I feel cheap today, especially after my score. But I don't know why I resisted because I had a $25 coupon too, and it still came out to $75 or something like that.
They
So
always tack something on. You go get a 1995 oil change, you come out of there out 125.
yeah. Oh yeah, you
Plus
got to
need some
change this
parts, and they just
filter.
happen to have them, like at this place.
Oh,
That has,
your
yeah.
transmission fluid looks a little dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's $199
Yeah.
later. No, they didn't
Get a
get me this
Volkswagen.
time.
I mean, I think you do an oil change every like 200,000 miles. It's
No, I
amazing.
got the Nissan. I'm very
Yeah.
happy with my Nissan, whatever it is, Rogue. I've gone Rogue. But in any event, where were we talking about?
I have a restaurant for you, though, and I was trying to think of the name of it the other week, and it was Santos Perez, one of our good friends in the journalism business here.
Yeah.
Been
Oh,
writing for the
all
Herald for a long
boxing
time.
writer at the Herald, right? Yeah.
Always covered boxing. He covered some
Yeah.
other stuff too, because there just wasn't enough reason to justify having a boxing writer anymore. But and from a boxing match at the Magic City Casino, he turned me on to a place that's a favorite of the great Eddie Kaplan. Also, I couldn't think of the name of it last week. You were talking about Spanish restaurants, or we were talking about other Spanish
Oh,
restaurants
somebody was talking
besides
about Café
Café Seville.
Seville. Yeah.
The place actually qualifies itself as a Cuban restaurant, so I don't know how much
That's not
differential there
Spanish.
is
They
there.
speak
Yeah.
Spanish in Cuba, but it's
But
in
they had like Spanish type of dishes because I remember having a fish dish there that was very similar to something you would get at Cafe Seville, and it was called La Rosa down there
yeah,
on Flagler. La Rosa, very nice place. I mean, a
good.
classic.
And
Been
I
there for a
actually
long, long
heard you
time.
mention it this morning, and I Googled it, and
Yeah,
much to my shock, it's still in business. It's open,
yeah.
so people can go to La Rosa, and it
He had
looked
another
really
one
nice.
nearby too, but that I would recommend it. I mean, I don't know how much time you spend down there, I mean, unless you're getting like it seems like it's all immigration attorneys, and then here comes La Rosa. It's right
And
there in that
and
neighborhood.
immigration attorneys, MoneyGram stores,
Yeah.
to send money, wire money overseas, and also now Obamacare. Did you see that story in the New York Times?
No,
The
Times is
great
above my
Patty
intellectual level.
Mazzei, the Patricia Mazzei, who used to work at the Herald, now has been the New York Times Miami correspondent for a long time, and she gets great stories. And she did this whole piece about how you wouldn't think it based on the voting patterns and how much rabid anti-socialism and republicanism is there, but the number one county in the whole country that is signed up for government subsidized health care through the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare, is Miami-Dade. And there's all these little
Of course.
strip stores that basically push, and the sign up enrollment period for 2023 just ended on Sunday, January 15th. I know these things now because now I am enrolled through the healthcare exchange now that
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
an
Did you
independent
get into a
contractor
little Obamacare?
entrepreneur.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I got in, and I got a little bit of a subsidy for the plan I enrolled in, and I did that last month, so it kicked in January 1st. But people had until last Sunday, the 15th, to sign up, and that coverage would start February 1st. And but every other storefront has that Obamacare banner flapping in the wind, and people sign up, and the brokers get a little cut of the insurance package, and everybody wins because more people get health insurance, and yet it's one more of those because Miami moments where people are going around chirping about socialism and how horrible big government is, but then when it comes time to get a little subsidies, they're all signing up at record
Well, yeah.
numbers. So
Well, I mean, the standard profile, the Polyman came up with this one. He worked down there in Magic City forever, and he said the standard profile of a person in their bedroom, they have a picture by the bed of Mother Teresa and Jeb Bush.
Yeah, but now it ain't Jeb Bush, and Jeb Bush now looks like down like a liberal and moderate.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? We're veering into the political now. I don't want to go there.
Well, we'd love to
but
get you off track
I,
here, bro.
I
It's
did
some
oil
comment this morning that
changes,
we're only on this show to throw you off.
and you do a fine job of it. And I really did enjoy meeting and talking to your friend, the Godfather of Fun, last week.
Oh, Don, man, he's a good guy. I didn't get to see him that much because I was sick, but he always has a good time. Comes down with his guys. I mean, that's a New Jersey thing, maybe.
I saw him after the show.
Yeah.
They were all hanging out there on the track apron and having a grand old time. I didn't get the follow up from either. Oh, you should try to reach out to him, see how his meal at Café.
Oh, I did. He said it was great.
Of course. How could it not be great? We love Joey.
Well, you never know. I mean, people have all kinds of crazy opinions. We see that on Let's Eat South Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so speaking of Let's Eat, something that you won't see on there, but this guy, and now it's like kind of making the rounds underground on the internet. A guy who's a member, basically he created this 11-minute long YouTube video, and I guess now it was kind of, I don't know if it was a tribute and / also kind of a mocking of Let's Eat, but he calls it Tales from Facebook, and then he just I guess he's going to be spotlighting different Facebook groups, but he started off with Let's Eat South Florida. Now that we're closing in on 100,000, we did not approve it for posting on the group itself, much to his chagrin. He cursed it, well, because he violated a couple of rules. He was making fun of some of the Karens on the group that we're not allowed to do that on the group, and he also made it political by spotlighting a restaurant that sells wings up in Coral Springs that always hosts Republican candidates and is an unabashed supporter of
the top one right by my house,
the Wings Plus. Yes. So but he had a whole segment on that, and that hasn't taken up too much space on Let's Eat. Usually he did take some good-natured ribbing at Tropical Acres, and but we didn't post it on the group. But I don't know if somebody does a Google YouTube search of Tales from Facebook Let's Eat South Florida, you could find it. Some people got a real kick out of it. I said, there was some factual errors, and he started off by calling me Mike Mayonnaise, which is like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard that one before. Like
Zach Mayo, I mean, he had to suffer through that in Officer and a Gentleman. It was like, you can't come up with anything better than that. I do have something historical for you to check out, and I'm not sure, I think I have the right place in mind, but I believe Wings Plus, I'm not sure if it's under the same ownership as the original people that, brought it here to South Florida. But I want to say that it tracks all the way back to a place that was outstanding, and it was a freestanding kind of McDonald's hamburger joint just off the Wantagh Parkway in Wantagh/Belmore, New York, called Bob's Hamburgers. And I believe the people that started Wings Plus and brought it to Florida owned Bob's Hamburgers, which, I mean, I was amazed. It was better than McDonald's back in the day, but they only had one stand. And they had better quality hamburgers, all in that same genre, 15 cents, 10 cents for fries or whatever. And that was always a highlight, was to go to Bob's Hamburgers over any of these other. Burger King was just emerging, but I love that place, and I believe they started Wings Plus down here. It can track that back to that family.
It's pretty solid. They're just very Republican, which is fine.
I didn't know that. I mean, because they're from a Democratic area.
Well, they're a police. Like,
maybe they changed hands.
Very high with the police.
Well, here's the thing. Why am I going down this political thing? Yeah, they're all pro-police.
Because we're on the show with you. We always lead you somewhere you don't want to go.
Thank you. All right, we could have a discussion about good wings one day. And I would obviously include Friends at Shenanigans, where I watched the Dolphins play that close game. And that goes back to my reverse Mayo. But, I should have known that the Dolphins were going to play a great game. And you know why? Because everybody in the world was predicting a Buffalo massacre and expecting a Buffalo massacre.
And that's what it looked
when everybody in the world goes one way, my angle is always, I love to go the other way.
That's a Tom Jicka special, a reverse mentality.
That's what happened. So that, the Dolphins, again, we talked about this yesterday without you, but they acquitted themselves well for having a third string quarterback. Yeah, they made a couple of gasps, but overall, you can't be too disappointed with the way that season ended, and it gives you a little bit of hope for the future if just McManaman learns not to do some stupid things during the games. But he kept the guys motivated, and they were into it. But I
got to throw one in also, just real quickly. Friend of mine, I just wanted to give a shout out to him, a gentleman named Chip Bisbano, and you mentioned wings. And for a while, he had a place called the Parkway Pub, which eventually he sold, and it went on for a while after that under different ownership. But when he owned it, he literally had the best wings I'd ever had. They were Rodan sized. I mean, I don't know where we
Yeah.
got these chickens from, but
I like
they were
those
amazing.
big plump ones, plump and
He had
juicy.
great burgers and everything. Really low prices. It was on Miramar Parkway, the Parkway Pub, and I was at the time affiliated with Chip and did a lot of things with him from a promotional standpoint, and I always loved going in there.
Yeah.
He's going through a little health thing right now, and
So
I
the
just wanted
Parkway
to wish him all
Pub
the best.
is no more. Yeah, I wish
Parkway
him well
Pub, I
too.
think, went out of business by now,
Yeah.
but
So
it
back
existed
now
for a
we're
long
back
time
on track.
after he sold it. But no, this was more of a tribute to
Yeah.
a guy
No,
that
I hope.
when some people go into the restaurant business and they have the most sincere of intentions. I mean, this guy was bringing you great quality and quantity at a ridiculously low price. But it's not always a winning formula, unfortunately. And he ended up selling the place. And
Yep.
like I said, it existed for a while after that. But when he had it was as good as any place for like wings and
Yeah,
burgers
well,
that was here in
I
Florida.
got my spot, and I'm lucky because it's around the corner. Because I
Yeah.
was in there Sunday, and it was great. I got beside. I didn't. I told Lubie yesterday. I went a little off my usual. Instead of getting the blackened grilled wings, which is the dry rub, I got the Jamaican jerk wings, and it was wet and saucy, but they were
Nice.
plump and delicious. And then we got the patty melt, which to me is a great burger when you're splitting it with somebody, which I did with my buddy Scott, and also when you're hungover, which I might have been. Nothing soaks up grease like you get that. You get the rye bread and the grilled
Patty melts are
onions.
good anytime. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah,
They're
no,
always
no,
good.
but they're particularly good
This is
when you're a
heavy.
little bit hurting. And I had a Bloody Mary, the hair of the dog, and I had some wings, and then I had this patty melt with the grilled onions, and
Oh, yeah.
well,
That's the whole thing. You
the
need
Swiss
that.
cheese
Yeah.
and the rye bread. Not everybody likes the rye bread with the seeds. I happen to love it. It was really hit the spot. But
A patty
here's the-
melt
here-
must be on rye to be an official patty melt.
here's the weird thing, Defo. If you would have gone into last weekend saying which Florida NFL team would be the only one to emerge victorious and play the best game, and then
Jacksonville
rank,
was the team. Yeah.
but then
No?
to have
But
like
we would've said the
Jacksonville.
Bucks.
But at the beginning of the year, if you would have said Jacksonville is going to win a playoff game and the Dolphins and Tampa Bay are not, and that Tampa
Yeah.
Bay would look the worst of all three teams,
Yeah.
who would have thunk it, right? That's why
It
they
was,
played like this.
somewhat surprising. Although, if you watch the season, by the time you got to the end
Tampa
there,
was a bad team. It
Tampa was
just bad.
suspect all year. I mean,
They
they
were
ended up
just-
8-10. The Dolphins, high-end mediocrity, as we were saying this morning, Michael.
Yeah.
High-end mediocrity. And
So the
Jacksonville's
one-
okay. At least they're on the come. At least they're a team that's coming into their own. So that's
no,
good.
and the one person that did not get the lunchbox bump this year was the offensive line coach of the Bucks, Joe Gilbert, who I ran
Oh,
into
yeah.
at Café Seville and we had on the show.
He was
And then they just went on this skid and it was lose my number. But that was
That coaching
no,
staff, I would imagine, endures some changes, and I don't know if Brady. I'm assuming he comes back and plays another year with the Bucks.
I have no idea what's going
likely
to go
scenario,
on
I think, yeah.
there, but all I know is that Brady did some great late heroics, fourth quarter comebacks to get the Bucks into the playoffs, but that was as bad a home performance as you could possibly have.
That's how he was most of the season, though. What we saw
Yeah.
that entire game from Brady,
Oh, yeah.
it was pretty
Yes.
much this whole year, except for
Yes.
a few late game, comebacks
And
where
that-
the other team just let him do whatever he wanted.
And that's the other thing. Like, who would have thunk that Skylar Thompson would play better in a playoff game than Tom Brady? And that's what just happened the last 2 days. So
Yeah, well, so
that's why
Thompson
they
is
play
better
the
than
games.
Brady, goes to the Hall of Fame.
That's-
The natural extrapolation if you're a sports fan.
Well, yeah, some of the Jets fans are extrapolating. Oh, the Dolphins barely beat us, and the Dolphins almost beat the Bills. Therefore, the Jets will win the Super Bowl next year. That's what they always say.
Good luck to that, man. The Jets have to be scrambling for one of those free agent quarterbacks.
Oh
Yeah.
man! So hey, food. Well, we're going to talk to Hyde in a couple of minutes. You know what? Let's talk.
Well, what does
about
Hyde
my
like
friend-
to eat, though? He's always been.
No,
the
we're going to
same
talk. We're going to
size.
go.
Yeah.
We're going to go heavy on food with him. He's from Ohio. He's one of those Midwesterners. When I was
Yeah,
on the
he's a
road,
Skyline
with him,
guy.
never too exotic.
Skyline. I don't
We're
think
gonna
he's a-
talk about Skyline. We're gonna talk about the Dolphins, and that's gonna be coming up soon. But first, I want to talk about Tropical Acres. I texted with Jack Studiali this morning. I hadn't seen him in a while, and
Yeah.
I was gonna go. I am gonna be going over there later today and pick up a couple things from Mom because she loves some of their products. She likes some of the burger meat, this good ground sirloin that you get at Tropical Acres. And Jack, I said, if you're gonna be in, I'd love to say hello. He's over in Tampa with his wife Terry. They were
Oh, yeah?
there at the game last night. I don't know how or why, but they They saw the game and they're having some fun times. He's being able to break away from the restaurant a little bit more and have his sons run the show, and that would be Joe and Jackson are up front now, taking care of all your needs. You should definitely go to Tropical Acres at 2500 Griffin Road there in Dania Beach, Old Fort Lauderdale, just west of I-95 and the airport, because it's a great spot. They have tremendous quality food at great value prices, along with the best in hospitality. So whether it's a special occasion or any occasion, like tonight, a Tuesday night in the middle of January after a whole holiday weekend, go in there. You get half price wine. You get the happy hour in the bar from 4:30 to 6:30. We could get a half price drink, like one of those $7 Belvedere martinis that I love to chug before I play poker. And that you get some of those, again, you get wings or coconut shrimp in the bar during happy hour for just $6. You could get a full meal and a drink for less than $20. That's unheard of, especially at a quality steakhouse. Better yet, treat yourself right. Sit down in the dining room and get a full steak dinner or some seafood. They have all kinds of specials, and they have prime rib. That's what they're known for. And it comes with a salad and a side dish. Tropical Acres is open every day but Sunday, and they also have a butcher shop for your home takeout needs, and that's open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. TropicalAcres.com is where you want to go for upcoming specials and events. They have some tribute bands coming in, some different singers. Fantastic place, fantastic people. Go to Tropical Acres and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Good spot Tuesday night. How do you beat it? Get in there, the happy hour, take advantage of the cocktail hour prices, and then half price bottle of wine. Unbelievable.
Is. And
Yeah.
also, don't forget the loyalty reward card. You get the card, they'll punch your ticket every or entree that you order. If you group of 4 people, 4 punches, and for every 12
Does your
punches-
ticket look as tattered as like a Subway thing? You know, and they used to have that where they punch the things and the
Oh
edges
yeah,
all
and I
ragged.
have like the problem is I always forget to bring them, so they always give
Yeah.
me a new one. So I have like 7 of them. They each have like 4, and they said, "Bring them
Yeah.
all in, Mike. We'll combine them for you." And again, the 12th for every 12, you get the 13th one for free, 13th entree up to a $35 value.
It's a good
So
deal.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a disorganized mess, and I will one day gather up all my Tropical Acres loyalty cards and try to get a
Think about
free
it. How
loyalty.
many times you've been there with a party of 4? You go 3 times, and the next time you go, one of the people eats for free. It's
Oh
great.
no,
Yeah.
it's great. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just-
Especially when I have losing Panthers bets. So that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you would have lost everything. Did you make out at the track all right, or did you get buried there too?
No, this was a food festival weekend. It was a sure thing. I ate a lot,
Yeah.
but I didn't put any bets down, so that kind of saved me some dough.
How was it out there on the beach here, real quick? Because
Oh, it's great. Yeah, if you missed the show yesterday, everything went well, and our friends Brad and Dave, even Keel, won
Oh yeah,
the People's Choice Award for the
Nice.
best tasting dish at the Grand Tasting Fort
Well
Lauderdale Food
deserved.
Festival.
Wow.
Because Brad is a smart guy. He listened to me. Well, but he looked at the weather report. He saw it was going to be chilly, and he decided to make a delicious soup. It was a coconut curry pumpkin soup. And I usually hate all those ingredients, but put it
Yeah.
all together with a little bit of spiny lobster, shredded lobster that he had in
Ooh.
there. It was one of the most delicious things I've ever tasted. It was the top of my ballot on the judges' ballot. And S3, our friends at S3, ended up winning the judges' competition with their salmon crudo that we tasted the other week when we were out there. But Brad and Dave, they killed it with that soup, and it was beautiful. So
Nice.
that was
Well
good
deserved,
for
man.
them. Good on
Brad's always super creative. I always love it when we go over there for the lunchbox.
And it was just a great time, well organized. Everybody was having fun. A little bit on the colder side, but everybody
Yeah.
warmed up when the sun came out.
Now,
Phil
did
and
Lubie
Kate,
poach his way into that one too, or no?
just Friday. I was there Friday night.
they
Right, okay.
bailed. Everybody bailed. I kept having to give away my ticket. I kept bringing my neighbor and her. I didn't realize she had a Ukrainian woman who was subletting for
Oh,
her
I thought it
for
was
the
going to
last
be
2
a
months.
6'5" boyfriend that is very
And
jealous.
what did you think, Lubie? Did I have I had a posse with me on
You had a nice little crew. They were
Friday night. Yeah,
good looking women. Both Shirley
Yeah.
and I were proud of you. We're like, look at him.
Nice. Yeah.
The
You're becoming more social. I don't know what made you antisocial because you seem like a very likable guy.
Edibles. Is the case.
But you've become more social. It's good to see, Mike. You're emerging as a human
Oh,
being.
man.
It's
Yes,
good.
it only took me 56 and a half years.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the break so we could get Dave Hyde.
I'm getting out of here.
Hill.
I'm going to bow out for the
All right,
remainder of this, if
thank
that's
you
okay.
for
Yeah.
just slugging along, and we hope you get better.
It seems to be going in the right direction. Those
Get some
things are
rest.
problematical though, and This has
Take
been
a
lingering
COVID
off and
test.
on for
Yeah.
like a month. It's crazy.
That's why you should take a COVID test. You might have long COVID.
You know what? The Mustang had something very similar. She took the test and it was negative.
Are
So
you the
I don't know what this
Mustang?
is.
No,
Yeah.
every person is different. All right, enough. All right,
I would
get
think I
some
would be
rest.
more knocked out if it was COVID,
All
but
right.
seems to be a
That's
little
what they
odd.
all
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
Defo, get better soon. Thanks.
Okay. We'll
you
see you
tomorrow.
guys. Good luck, man. La
All right.
Rosa.
And
La
we'll
Rosa.
be back with Dave Hyde after this.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop. It's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Café in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. It's Mike Mayo with Mike Lubie Lubitz. We let Defo go back to the sick bay. I do appreciate his efforts, and we want him to get better soon. But now joining us on the hotline, the Lunchbox hotline, is our friend of the show, longtime colleague of mine at the Sun-Sentinel back when I was an ink-stained wretch. Dave Hyde, are you there? And are you the dean of South Florida sports writers, or does Greg Cody hold that distinction? Who has been doing it longer?
The dean. Remember when people were referred to like that in sports writing? Like that was like the oldest guy. So thank God, Cody, keep hanging on, baby. You're the dean.
Well, the Pope was the Pope, and he was also the dean for a long time. Yeah. We loved Eddie, and we miss him.
Everybody loved Edwin. Yeah, sure do.
Man. But actually, once we gone down that road, do you have a favorite Edwin story? Edwin Pope, of course, was the legendary Miami Herald sports columnist, and I used to love being on the road with him because he would tell stories over the glasses of wait, I'll have a white wine. Just bring another glass of that white wine.
He would do that, and then also you'd be sitting there, and someone would come up, some fan or some interrupt some great Edwin story, and keep talking and yakking about how's the team going to do tomorrow? And Edwin would say, just a second, I got to go to the restroom. And I'd put my head down because you wouldn't see him till the next day.
That was his.
I got to go to the restroom. That was his signature. Goodbye.
Speaking of him going to the restroom.
Here's an Edwin story I can tell. Okay, on it, because he has a lot of. Edwin had a fun side to him, especially in his youth, that he would talk about. But he was sitting in the Orange Bowl one time, looking for his wife, who was he had the binoculars on. I go, Edwin, what are you doing? I'm looking for Elaine, looking for my wife, and so he's looking out, and then he drops the binoculars real quick, and I said, what happened? He goes, I was looking at binoculars, and this was a time. There's a brief time when I started, you could still smoke in the Orange Bowl, and he goes, I was looking at her and she was looking at back at me in the binoculars, and I'm supposed to be quit smoking. And so she was seeing that he was smoking in the press box.
Oh,
So
wow. Edwin, he did like his what did he had not the menthol cig, but yeah, he was a smoker for a long time. And my favorite story was him talking about him going and making an exit to the bathroom, but about the time that he got frozen to the toilet seat at the Sarajevo Olympics in 1984. That
yeah,
was a hilarious way. I don't know how he got or managed to pry himself off. It was like an outhouse, I guess, outdoors at one of those skiing venues or something like that. But
he has another toilet story there where it's without toilet paper.
oh
And
god,
he's anybody got any toilet paper out there? Any toilet paper? And nobody answers. And he goes, anybody got 2 5s for a 10?
singles. If he had some singles, then he'd be in business. Oh man, we miss Edwin. Those are the good old days when, oh man, those press boxes at all the different sporting events around the state, and those big Florida games, and all the people. Yeah, it was good. All right, I'm getting all weepy and sentimental, but it's time to put away the sentiment and let's talk a little bit about this Dolphins season overall. And again, the game on Sunday, I guess everybody in the world was picking Buffalo in a runaway. And of course, everybody in the world was wrong because that's why they play the games. What were your impressions and takeaways of it?
Yeah, I was shocked like everybody else. I was shocked that with a third string quarterback, I was shocked on many levels that it was a close game and it was a fun game, highly entertaining. And Josh Allen kept both teams in it. You know, he kept his team in it.
Yeah.
Throwing bombs. And then for some bizarre reason, you know, there's a line out there with Josh Allen, and if you can get him to cross it, and the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, Josh Boyer, did by tempting him by you know having press coverage with his cornerbacks and blitzing at times and daring Josh Allen to beat him, which Josh Allen did early on, but after that he kept throwing and kept missing, and he'd get sacked and lose the ball. Touchdown Dolphins, and
Picks, yep.
that's really that kept him. So that was a good surprise. It was shocking that
We're getting a little cut.
they came back.
Okay.
Oh,
will
they came back. Okay, you got me.
Yeah. Okay, we were getting cutting in and
Okay.
out.
Yeah. So I was shocked. It was 17-0. They came back, and then you know, looking at the full day, I was shocked. The Dolphins, they have a 7th-round rookie quarterback. He throws 45 times. They
Right.
run 20 times. They put a lot on his plate, and then it's just the unfortunate way that 4th down fiasco at the end with time running out, and delay a game, and all
it's
that.
a reminder that it's a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback, and that's what happens
Yeah.
sometimes in the big games. But you know, given everything that was expected, now going forward, all right. So I asked you this. I kind of give you a little heads up, but if you were to equate the 2022 Dolphins season overall to a food dish or a restaurant, which would it be?
You know, I was thinking of you said maybe quarter decks, because fun place, a lot of, you know, everybody's having a good time, and then you sometimes you say, well, maybe I had too good of a time, and then I overstayed it. And but I was thinking later, maybe a piece of cake does that. Like you just keep eating cake, like a birthday cake, and you keep eating, and it's great at first, and then it's like, oh, what's going on? I don't feel as good as I used to, and so an 8-3 season turns into 9-9. You know, it's a good sugar buzz, but you know, it's not what you thought it was when you took those first.
Yep. No, that's a good answer. I like that. You know, I was trying to think of a place that has great appetizers, and then all of a sudden the meal trails off badly, and the waiter, you can't find them. They just disappear, and it's just like tails into this just a total disaster. But I guess you know, along your cake analogy, I could put it along with maybe they were like a Skyline chili. Like you first
There
start,
you go.
you get that big heaping 5-way, and it looks all piled up with cheese, and it's good. And I don't know where you stand on Skyline as an Ohioan, Dave, as a Buckeye State person, but I love it starting. But then as you eat more and more of it, you get that little bit of
Yeah.
a squeamish feeling. So
I like the idea of it, but I went to Miami of Ohio, right up from Cincinnati, and everybody, all the Cincinnatians love Skyline chili, and so I gotta have this, gotta have it. And I walk in and I look at it, and it sounds better than it was, in my mind.
it's not chili. It's basically spaghetti with
Right.
Greek meat sauce, and
Right, exactly. It wasn't chili, exactly.
but so you're a thumbs down on Skyline. You don't go there anytime you're in
I mean,
Cincinnati.
it's not for me. You go ahead. You go ahead and eat it. And
Well, you know who
all that
turned me
stuff,
on
not
to
for
it
me.
originally. You know who I've had my first Skyline experience with in Cincinnati.
Brian White, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
Brian White, our
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
colleague and former sports editor of the Sun-Sentinel. He turned me on to it. He loved the stuff, and it was not what I was expecting in terms of chili. Like I usually think of it being chunky and all that kind of stuff. But this was just thin gruel that could be substituted for motor oil, 10W40. But I love the stuff. I can't get enough. It's one of my, like I call,
Yeah, I
the
love
guilty pleasures of a supposed food snob foodie. I could eat Skyline chili all day long, and sometimes I do, and I feel terrible about it, and I feel like the Dolphins at the end of their season, where it's like, oh my God, how did that happen? Why did I do this? So, but seriously, going forward, where is this team at? Can they trust Tua? Are they going to go with Tua? Do they have to get another quarterback? What's happening?
Well, the GM said yesterday, I can't say this any more clearly, Tua is the starter. And so you trust his word that he's a starter. Now, I'd be shocked if they don't bring in somebody as an insurance, at least as an insurance policy, because, the question becomes, is Tua's talent worth what looks to be every year some injury problem? And it's got serious here with the concussions, and his health takes precedent over anything, especially with concussions. We know where this can go, and it's a scary thing to have happen. It's it's not a fun thing to write about. So there's the personal level, and then there's the corporate level, and if we're looking at it from the corporate level, the Dolphins they got him one more year on the cheap. I'd be astonished if they
Sign him to anything now. You
go
can't.
for the 5th-year option, which would be in the 20 millions. I forget, 28 million, I think. And
Did we lose him again? Dave, can you hear me? Come in, Dave.
yeah, am I losing you again?
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
us or you, but that's okay.
No, it's me. It's me. It's me.
Okay.
I'll
you're in
try
the-
to make sure I'm standing where I can see the satellite dish on my phone. Yeah, you saw the improvement in Tua this year when Mike McDaniel comes in with a fun offense, and he's got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle creating space in the offense, and so he took a big step this year. The question is there another step forward for him?
Right. And he's the starter until he gets his bell rung one more time, and then it's again. So
Yeah,
maybe-
I mean, there's, you can go either way. There's tons of anecdotal evidence of players having concussions, and then they go away. They go on and have big long careers. And there's anecdotal evidence of players obviously having careers interrupted by concussions and stopped, or at least they become health concerns. And so the scary thing about Tua is he's small and he's slow. I mean, the surprising thing to me when he got here was he was slow. I thought for some reason he's small, but he has to be really athletic and fast. But he's not. And so that, just think of the gazelle on the Serengeti Plains being, that's that fearful thing about Tua when you're small and slow.
Yep.
Well, I wanted to ask you, Dave, and we talked a lot, and I leave Chris Greer alone, even though I don't see why they are. Brought up Mike McDaniel here and there. What was your postscript. Peter King, a lot of people are being really tough on him for the end of that game. And again, when you have a 7th-round third-string quarterback, when you're missing 2 offensive linemen, when your left tackle's been in and out of the lineup, and it's on the road, and he's mixing up downs. There's only so critical. Yeah, we all complained and bitched and moaned, but there's only so critical to me you could be of him, especially since you're in that place at that point, and they shouldn't be. What is your postscript on Mike McDaniel's first year?
Well, let's look at the big picture. The big picture is Mike McDaniel's asked to do 2 things as I see it, 2 primary things. 1, make the playoffs. He did that. And 2, get some answers on Tua Tagovailoa. This guy they invested. They really had a tear down and a massive rebuild with the central idea of getting a franchise quarterback. So they need answers on Tua. He did both those things. He got him to the playoffs, and you got a lot of information on Tua. Now the question is, do you apply that information correctly? And because you see what he can do when there's very good protection, and well, he can tear apart a defense or be part of that. And you also saw what happens if he gets a pass rush. When Joey Bosa sacks him 3 times, his game wasn't there. And so, what do you do with that information now? They're going to make him the starter, and let's see what little tweaks they do to their offense to help them.
Interesting. All right, I'm going to get back to food here. Were you or were you not in Buffalo? It looks like you did the game from here. Am I right or wrong? What did you eat for dinner Sunday night? Was it wings or was it stone crab?
It would have been stone crabs if given those 2 cities. This was a situation. Look, with as you know, we got Chris Perkins and David Fronis covering the team, and we were sending 2. And I told them, hey, send those 2. They've been out there every day.
This is why you're the dean of the Sun-Sentinel Sports Writers, because Buffalo in January, Dolphins have no shot. I'll just stay home. I could just give all the analysis I need from the TV and all that. Yeah. So I did the Panasonic City, which used to be a no-no in sports writing, but I think since the pandemic, it's especially as a way to save some budgetary money, it's seen as a good thing. Yeah, no, and if I had known that, I would have stayed in sports 20 years ago. I could have, if I knew I could just do it the Mitch Albom style. Oh, wait, I don't want to let that cat out of the bag. But
man, I was in Buffalo since I was thinking about 1990. Every year I went to Buffalo until this year. I didn't go to either game there.
Wow.
And, I think I had a better life for it. I think I really had a better life.
You are living your best life now. I mean, that is a tremendous accomplishment. Like me going 0-6 in my picks last week. I had the reverse parlay against the spread. It was unbelievable. And but you managed to avoid Buffalo in a season where the Dolphins actually played pretty well up there. So
Yeah. It's I'll say this for this Dolphin season. I hate myself sometimes having to be critical of everything, but it was a fun year. Fun offense. It was a fun offense. They played a lot of fun games, very entertaining. And
December, not so much fun. That was no fun.
I was going to say until December. If they just closed out, 2-3 or even 1-4 or something. So they had this brutal losing streak where a lot of the good news went off the table a little bit, or you had to sit back and say, maybe not. So we'll see what next year brings. But it was an entertaining year, and I can't always say that.
That's good. No, it was. Look, it made me want to watch, and I even wanted to watch the whole, playoff game as much as I thought they were going to get destroyed, and I did, and I was a better person for it. And obviously because I had a bunch of beers and some wings at Shenanigans, so that was good. But and you got to come up there sometime. You talked to Pat Arter the last time you were on the show. He's a hoot. He's a good guy. He's a good dude. So
get me up there. Get me up there.
Yeah, when we do a remote show, now that you have a little more time. Oh yeah, we got to get into Panthers season. I mean, and I know you got to go. We got to do another break. But what do you think about my favorite team and Doug Seafood, my favorite executive of all time, because you can't spell
What happened?
seafood
What happened? What
without
happened to
FU.
them?
That's
I
a good
mean,
one.
that's a whole. I need to get up there and now that
Get under the
football is
hood.
over and
Yeah,
talk to some people, but it looks like the wheels just fell off of
Yeah.
what was. That last year there was a chance of we want 10, and this fun Harlem Globetrotter offense, and you knew that wasn't going to be back because that was, they talked that didn't work in the playoffs. We need to adjust stuff, so fired the coach and brought in, a guy with Maurice with a different system, and
system ain't
it's
working.
just not working.
What's his
Ain't
name?
working. Ain't
And
working right.
it's a team that'll drive you to drink now. And I went to my first and probably only game of the year with my daughter over the winter break to see my Rangers. And man, don't drink beer there because it'll cost you. I got one beer. Can you guess the price without going over of one Molson in a 24-ounce can that I bought at one of their stands? Guess the price, Dave.
I know I got an email from someone complaining parking there was, I think, if I remember,
That was
$35.
Defo complaining. Yes, it was $35, no cash,
Oh,
only
yeah.
cards accepted. Yes, so
Yeah,
that
Defo, you're right.
was
It was Defo complaining.
was whammy number one, and he was whining like an old. Well, he is an old Jewish man. So, but yeah, the $35 parking.
$15. I'm gonna go $15.
No, higher. $20.01. I still don't know how it happened because I added in a tip and I thought it was $18 and I gave 10%. I thought it was going to be $19.80 and it turned out to be $20.01 on my credit card. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why they need the extra 1 cent. But
Is that
$20
because Molson Canadian exchange
yeah,
rate or what?
it might have been the Canadian loony tax or something. But that was painful along with the Panthers' performance that day. But anyway, hey, so one more quick lightning round here, and I know we're going to let you go. Super Bowl prediction: who's going to be in it? Who's going to win it?
Who's still in it? Let's see. Kansas City, and do I trust San? And I'll say San Francisco.
Yeah,
All right,
Kansas City and
rematch.
San Francisco.
Rematch City.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
wins the
it
rematch?
is. It is. Of the one here a few years ago, right?
Yep.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And Kansas City won that, right? In the last
Yes. San
Patrick
Francisco
Mahomes
that
coming
won.
down the field at the end.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe-
That's I don't trust Buffalo. I mean you got to tell me that they rely so much on Josh Allen, and he steps over the line a lot, and so I'll go with Kansas City. And San Francisco, what a story! Brock Murphy
Purdy.
Purdy. He can't even get his name right.
That's all right.
The last guy in the draft, and becoming a super. That'd be shocking.
It would be, but stranger things have happened. All right, so that's the Super Bowl. But second lightning round question. Lubie was asking me what kind of eater you were, and I kind of maybe blacked out everything from our days on the road together. But how would you describe yourself as a foodie? You grew up in Ohio.
Been here a long time though.
Yeah, no.
How would I describe myself? You know what? So I just did this book with Jimmy Johnson, and there's a few things I could relate to him about. One is I drink Heineken Lights, and that's because when I was 21, I was backpacking through Europe and was in Amsterdam, and I went to the Amsterdam brewery, and if it was your birthday, you got a free mug. And so I got a free – so I was a fan for life, Heineken. And the other thing is he doesn't like to sit down and spend 2 hours eating, and that's sort of me. I am like when I go out on the road, I like to walk around a town, and I'll just slip in and have a beer here, maybe something to eat.
Okay.
Other guys go out. Let's go. We'll have dinner here. I'm not that guy. I'm not.
No, you're not a 5-course tasting menu.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're a 5-way, not even a 5-way Skyline chili guy. You just don't even want the chili. Just give you a coney dog to go, and that's it. But yeah, you're one of those eat to live kind of guys, whereas you know that I am a live to eat kind of guy.
I remember meeting with you in Tallahassee, Mike, and we went to some restaurant, and
Did we go to the Slipper,
said-
the Silver Slipper, or
could it have been the glass the was it
the
the gold
Silver
Slipper?
Slipper was the
Silver
place that had the
Slipper. Yeah,
curtains and all
right,
the dirty dealing got
Yep.
done behind those curtains
Yep.
with all the
Yep.
lobbyists.
It's
Could
in
have
the
been
Capitol
there. You ordered, you perused the menu and went over it and everything, and then you said, "I'll order the wine." And so you're slipped into your right role, and me, I was like, whatever, whatever. That sounds good, So
We all found our destiny, and your destiny is with Jimmy Johnson, as you mentioned, swagger. How do people get that if they haven't gotten it yet? And just to talk a little bit about that.
wherever you read a book, it will be there. Whether
Okay.
it's Amazon or Books and Books and Gables or wherever you go.
Barnes and Noble. I think there's still a few
Barnes
of
and
them
Noble,
around.
yep.
BarnesandNoble.com. Go get that great book, Swagger, with by Jimmy Johnson with Dave Hyde.
And actually, and a tie-in, the Cowboys play the 49ers in the playoffs this weekend,
Yes.
and that was
That was a big
some
rivalry.
was a
bizarre
huge game.
stories. In fact, down in Jimmy's restaurant right now in Key Largo, there's a wooden chest with two big brass balls in it that were sent to him after he said, he predicted on the call-in show, he's driving down the highway, called in and predicted that the Cowboys were going to beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Caused a big stir, and George Seifert said, I don't know if he's got balls. I don't know if they're brass or paper mache. And
Right.
he said, well, they sure are paper mache. And there he's got the brass balls down in the restaurant. So a little tie into this week's game.
Wasn't that the original working title of the book, Balls, or am I misremembering that?
Brass balls.
So, but maybe it should have been. That would have been pretty good. I thought Swagger was good, but Balls might have been better.
It's kind of an arresting title, and it kind of sums up. He's a football coach, and that's it. All right, Dave, I've chewed up enough of your day and absolutely destroyed it. But I do appreciate you joining us on the Lunchbox. As always, it's good to catch up. And don't be a stranger. I'll get you up to Broward, and we'll eat some wings and drink some beer. Maybe one of these playoff weekends. Get you up here. Pat Utter.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Good talking to you. Just like old times, Mayo.
Yep, it is all good. I'm all smiles. Thanks, Dave. We'll catch you later. All right, we got to do some business. Lubie, it's time for a long break. And then afterwards, I'll tell the people about Visit Lauderdale and how the greater Fort Lauderdale area is the place to be, not just this wintertime, but anytime. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Café Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Café Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. Are we back? I guess we're back. We're back. We have no more commercials, no more business to do. Okay, that's good. Good with me. Except I do have to talk about Nikki Monahan and our friends at Visit Lauderdale, because they want you to know that Greater Fort Lauderdale welcomes everyone under the sun. That means all you foodies out there, culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados. Come one, come all, and get ready to savor every flavor and every moment. From dockside dining with great views of the Intracoastal or the Atlantic and the beaches, and lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard, like our friends at Barry's Grill, where we spent some time last month celebrating Argentina's big win in the World Cup, and to award-winning chefs serving up every cuisine imaginable, like our man Timon Balou and his wife Marissa at the Catherine restaurant. There is a world-class culinary scene awaiting for you. So come stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale and discover taste sensations at more than 4,000 area restaurants. And also, don't forget the thrilling nightlife scene here. Got craft breweries along the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail, places like Lauder Ale, which is kind of hidden near the airport and port. I love that place. I love Three Sons Brewing. That's my local in Dania. This place is up and about in Pompano, 26 degrees, near the professor and his place. And, of course, the one and all, the granddaddy of them all, the Funky Buddha up in Wilton Manors there. Oakland Park is where Funky Buddha is, but that's great. Some great breweries, not to mention the rooftop bars, expert mixologists, the hidden speakeasies, like the Apothecary, our friend Mark Facetto, who's going to get ready to reopen the Anthony's Runway 84 with our friend Anthony Bruno. All that and more is here in town, Greater Fort Lauderdale. Visit Lauderdale. It's a never-ending culinary and drinking celebration in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Everyone's invited. So for more information about the upcoming events, promotions, and other kinds of deals and happenings, go to visitlauderdale.com. All right, Lubie. Well, that show went pretty well. I didn't know what we were going to get with Defo. He made it through. He didn't have any kind of coughing jags. I'm still concerned with him. This is a man. He's in his 70s. I don't know when his. I didn't ask him when his last booster was. I guess it's now considered, personal medical information. But I want him to take care of himself. It doesn't hurt to take a COVID test, just to do those rapid tests, just to see what you're dealing with.
It's not
but that's me. And Dave Hyde, that was great. We talked some football and some food. And like I said, yeah, he was a grab a hot dog type of guy all the way.
Yep.
He was one of those guys who much preferred going to, one of the bars after the game and just grabbing a plate of nachos or a quick burger, as opposed to getting involved with, I must go and see the full, what gustatory delights await in what's the specialty of St. Louis, toasted ravioli. I would always make a trek up to those Italian restaurants on the hill. Dave, you got to come with me, get some toasted ravioli. I'm good. I'm just going to drink some Budweiser next to the ballpark. I'm good. But that's Dave Hyde. He's a good guy, great writer, and been a long time. Man, I can't believe how long we've known each other and worked together a long time. And yeah, it's been more than 3 decades, which makes me feel extremely old. All right, that's going to do it. We didn't get a chance to talk about over the weekend. I missed it was National, all these silly food holidays. It was National Bagel Day on Sunday,
Okay.
and I was in at Grandpa's this morning. I did not
Nice.
see either of the marks, but I got a couple of bagels from my man Clive, the manager of the deli there, and good stuff. My mom's going to have a bagel for lunch today, a belated Bagel Day celebration. I love my grandpa's bagels, but there's a lot of good places around. And it was also pastrami day over the weekend. A big weekend for old Brooklyn Jews like me to have the bagels and pastrami. But anyway, that's it for today. We'll come back and do it again tomorrow. We'll try to figure out. We might be on the road on Thursday. We're definitely on the road Friday at Gulfstream Park. I suggest anybody who's out there who can get a afternoon off, come out on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah,
And
it's a
say
lot of
hello to
fun.
us.
They get a great crowd.
That place is great. I mean, you could eat well and drink well and bet. And to me, there's nothing better to do on a winter day in January down here than out at Gulfstream Park on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday or a Sunday. So that's coming up. And oh, yeah, it's going to be the Lunar New Year. We're going to be talking more about that. I think this Sunday is going to be a lot of the celebrations at the local Chinese restaurants and some of the Asian places also mark the Lunar New Year, different Asian countries. But we'll talk more about that. We might actually go visit a Chinese restaurant if I can find one that will host us, our whole merry band of eating waters. All right, that's going to do it today on the Lunchbox. Mike Lubie Lubitz, thank you for everything you do. I'm Mike Mayo, going to remember every sandwich.
Sausage and mustard.